Like I know our employment application already had on there that we do background checks and criminal. Will this policy be retro to people hired from the beginning of the administration through now? Is one question, and then the second is, in the event that something does come up on the background, what will be the follow? What will be the follow through? What will be the follow up action?
So as it relates to the background stuff, I'm basically saying that any new hires moving forward as of today, we will continue to do. Anybody that's background is already out there circulating via email, text, social media. So people information out there. I will not destroy anyone's lives in that matter. So I'm stating that moving forward, we will do all background checks on everyone.
The hypocrisy is unfathomable in this situation as we travel back in time to unravel the details on how this corrupt administration ended up with so many criminals who slid through the cracks and gained employment. They say hindsight is 20/20. Well, it doesn't get any clearer than this. Welcome back to the Dolton Chronicles. Trustee Andrew Holmes here, and I'm still in hiding. Well, I sure enough didn't want to see this one get out, because they done got an embarrassing clip of me in the end of this one. But buckle your seatbelt, folks, and let's just dive on in. What is up, gang? Carlton Flowers here with the Go Political channel, and welcome back to this episode of the Dolton Chronicles. We're going to jump into the whole issue of the background checks. This one promises to be exciting, interesting, and chock full of a whole lot of hypocrisy. So can you believe that lame excuse that was provided by the mayor in the intro? It just blows my mind. You're just completely not gonna believe this one, as we also have a cameo by none other than Trustee Andrew Holmes. And when you see what he says, your jaw is just gonna drop and hit the floor. But let's start out the video with the regular nonsense, the back and forth. This meeting was going on for nearly an hour. You're gonna see what happened before this edition in the next episode. But we'll start it out where we see Trustee Edward Steve blasting the mayor for her nasty attitude. Let's cut to clip.
As relates to the floors for Village Hall, we had a line item to remodel Village Hall. So again, I don't understand why items are being excluded. So do anybody want to, well, I guess since you made the motion, is there anybody that wants to do that?
Yeah, there's no, we have some questions about the spending and the money and how it's being spent, period. You know, it's not like we just coming out the clear blue with nothing. This is the reason. We have some more questions, and when we get them questions answered, we'll move forward with it. Thank you.
Okay, so just so people are clear on how board meetings work, you're supposed to get your answers before we get here so we're not back and forth. And then you could have asked those questions. You had an extra week before it came up for another vote, which is today, Friday, to get them answered. If it's something you need answered as related to the money, Chris is here on this chat. Do you want to ask Chris what account it's coming out of? What is your question, Trustee?
No, I do not. And for the record, stop saying if y'all don't know. You were a trustee for 8 years. You did the same thing for 8 years. How you wonderfully forget this stuff. You wonderfully forget how much you argued about stuff that you could have handled behind closed doors. We just have a question about the funding. That is it. That is it. It's not like we don't know. And again, you talking about you keep on throwing out these disrespectful shots at everybody. Y'all don't know. Y'all need to learn. You need to learn, Mayor. And you need to start being more respectful. You got to stop that and then say, let's work together. It'll never work. It'll never work with the tone you're taking right now. Never. And moving forward, I have more questions. We all have more questions about this. So it'll be taped. We won't vote on this right now, and we'll get the questions answered, and then we'll come back to it. Thank you.
Boy, I tell you what, I think Ed had just about had it with Tiffany and her nonsense by this point in the meeting, because like I said, this is an hour in. A lot of things happened before this point, but you're not going to get to see that topic until the next episode, and boy, oh boy, is it good. Well, anyway, Tiffany's going to clap back like she always does and make her crazy little points, but I want you to pay special attention to the point in this next clip where she references former Mayor Riley Rogers. Cut to the clip.
So as relates to me being a trustee, yes, I have several questions as I was a trustee. But guess what, Trustee Steves? When you know better, you do better. So all I'm trying to do is teach you the route of how things should be managed. But you don't want to learn. You guys want to come here and always grandstand about whatever it is. As relates to getting things done, one thing in the past, and you know, the ex-mayor used to say, things do not get done because trustees drag their feet. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. If we all agree to remodel Village Hall, let's finish it. Don't keep dragging it or kicking the can down the road. We just did the parking lot. We just did the sidewalks. We just did the roofs. We just painted Village Hall. So now you guys want in-person meetings, but you want people to come in here to this filthy carpet. This air is bad. Even the clerk understands what I'm saying because she wanted to move her office. So what I'm saying to you is let's fix the problem so the employees are in a safe and healthy environment, but we're not doing that. We keep on kicking the can down the road like we do with everything else. It will never get completed. That is my concern with why you guys keep changing your mind. The floors need to be done. The carpet needs to be picked up. Other than that, we can bring a company in to clean the carpet, but guess what? That will take a minute and then it has to dry. And then you have that little sour smell in Village Hall. All I'm saying, you guys, we got to make decisions. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. So with that being said, Clerk Key, call the roll so we can move forward.
So as she said, trustees drags their feet. But anyway, did you see how she conveniently quoted former Mayor Riley Rogers to make her point? The same man that she used to drag through the mud every single chance that she got. Oh, but now she can reference him to make her point. Oh boy, it doesn't get any better than that. Okay, so now let's get into the meat of the topic. Now they're going to bring up this whole situation with background checks. So pay special attention to what Mayor Tiffany says as she brings up this topic as if it's a problem that she just discovered. Cut to the clip.
Is there a motion to adopt and approve a human resource employment background screening policy? So the reason why I put this on the agenda is to make sure we do not drop the ball with any future hires as it relates to making sure we have a background check. I'm asking the board to support me in this policy as it relates to having a background check on all future applicants. Is there a motion to approve this policy and procedures?
I have a question. This is Trustee Brown.
Would you guys like the motion before we get into discussion? Nobody want a motion? Okay.
I make a motion. I'm sorry. This is Trustee Belcher. I'm motioning.
All right. Is there a second?
Thank you.
I motion.
Okay. There's a motion and second. Discussion. Trustee Brown.
Okay. From the previous employers, I guess the ball has been dropped a long time ago, back and forth. Some employees had background checks and fingerprints, some didn't. So is it a certain position? Is it all positions, or how are we doing it?
So it would be all positions in my book that gets a background check. It shouldn't be some over others, because to me that's discrimination. I think that everyone moving forward should have a background check.
Okay. Well, from talking to some of the employees, they did have background checks and fingerprints. So who decides who gets a background check and who doesn't?
So no one decides because everybody thinks it's on me. So we have an HR department, just so I could clear it up for the record for the residents and also for the Board of Trustees. All I do is if somebody tell me they're looking for employment or would like to work for the Village of Dolton, they will go and see HR or they'll go on our website, see what jobs are available. They'll come in and apply. Once she does an interview with them, she then will send them out for screening. So I thought that everybody gets a background check that works for us. So it hasn't been past practice. So I didn't know that. I'm thinking that it's just common sense, that that's what everyone does, but it was not. So the way to fix the problem that we have right now is to basically put something on the books to state that we will do background checks. Because right now we have nothing that tells us we must do background checks.
Okay, will there be a form stating that the person has to sign that they did have a background check?
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm not legal. Legal will have to tell me that. I don't know how that go.
We'll prepare a form. And obviously the first step is passing the policy. And then the second step, we could prepare a form. We would circulate to that form after the policy is prepared, consistent with the policy.
Well, I'm not legal. Legal will have to tell me how that go. How that go? Oh, gosh. How about that? So it's the Human Resources Department's fault, right? Well, who appointed the Human Resources Director and all the staff? And who supervises everything that the Human Resources Department does? That kind of doesn't make sense. And why didn't they have a policy beforehand? Even though I do believe that they actually did. So Tiffany says all positions are subject to background checks, and it would be discrimination if some had it and others didn't. Discrimination. But did you notice how she slid that moving forward line in there? Well, forget everything that happened in the past. Pay no attention to that. We're just going to move forward from here and ignore all the crooks and the criminals that I hired up until this point, right? Well, that's interesting. So then she explains the process quite clearly, even though she claims that she don't know nothing. She don't know how that go. Because it was all common sense, seemingly, and she just has no idea how it got so botched. So it's very interesting how eager she is to fix the problem. But let's see how crazy her explanation is when she talks about fixing the problem. Cut to the clip.
Okay, so what about the people that we have hired? Nobody has a background check, I'm sure.
Well, the people that we have hired, whether it's from when I came in or whether it's past administration, no one.
Speaking of past and present.
Right.
Speaking of both.
So what I'm considering to do is to move forward with any new hires. I wouldn't put nobody under a microscope because of politics or because of us messing up. Me, I would do it as it relates to all new hires. That's what I would start at. All new hires.
Okay, I wouldn't say it'd be politics. The right thing should have been done, even back in the past. Everybody that comes in to any position should have a background check or, a fingerprints if that's what you do. But everybody moving forward, any HR person knows everybody needs a background check. How this slipped through the cracks behooves me, but everybody should have had a background check. Mm-hmm. That's just crazy. You're bringing people in. No background check. Who does that?
Yeah. Well, you sound like me. I was shocked to know that as well. I did not know that because I don't do processing paperwork or processing the employee. So when you found out is when I found out. So any other comments?
Well, definitely when he gets that document prepared, I definitely would like to review it.
Sure.
We'll have it for the cop.
Okay. He said he can have it for the cow for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
That was the past administration. I wouldn't put nobody under no microscope. Oh, gosh. All right. So, as Trustee Brown said, everybody should have a background check. There's just no excuse for it whatsoever. Doesn't matter the past administration or the current. It should have been done. It should have been happening. And it probably was happening before all of this got started here. But of course, the mayor plays dumb and says, she just found out about this like everybody else did. How convenient. How convenient. But stop the presses, folks, because guess who's going to chime in next? Guess who's going to chime in support of Tiffany's effort to get started on these background checks right away? Well, let's just see. Cut to the clip.
Anyone?
Yeah, may I be recognized?
Sure, go ahead, trustee.
Yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction with this. I think that was the right call and decision to make to move forward to make sure this is solid, not only for protection of the elected official, but protection for the citizens in Dolton and the residents here to know who's being hired and what's behind. But thanks for putting this forward.
No problem.
This is solid. Okay. I kid. But now for the climax. This is the pinnacle of hypocrisy, the moment that we have all been waiting for, the ridiculous answer that I can't even fit into my head. As we listen to what Mayor Tiffany Henyard has to say after Trustee Jason House interjects, asking the question of whether or not the policy will be retroactive or not. Let's cut to the clip.
All right, can you call the
Mayor,
roll?
Mayor, can I be recognized on this?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm broke up a little. So forgive me if I repeat a little of Trustee Brown. I know our employment application already had on there that we do background checks and criminal. Will this policy be retro to people hired from the beginning of the administration through now? Is one question, and then the second is, in the event that something does come up on the background, what will be the follow through? What will be the follow up action?
So as it relates to the background stuff, I'm basically saying that any new hires moving forward as of today, we will continue to do. Anybody that's background is already out there circulating via email, text, social media. So if people information out there, I will not destroy anyone's lives in that matter. So I'm stating that moving forward, we will do all background checks on everyone.
People information's out there. Okay, I don't know about you, but what part of what she just said makes any sense at all? That was just a bunch of jibber jabber nonsense that was a complete excuse. So let's think about this. She's saying we don't want to have a retroactive policy because if we looked at the people who are already working and we notice on social media or emails or whatever their information is already out there, we don't want to destroy their lives. What does that even mean? My head's hurting just thinking about this. We don't want to destroy their lives for all of the criminal things and stupid things that they've done, which is already out there on social media. Okay, what this really means, guys. Let me get a sip of coffee while I'm thinking about this. Good Lord. What this really means is she wants no attention being paid to all the criminals, the people that have felonies and heinous crimes that she has already hired and slipped into the system. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how she got away with this and how she was able to serve up such an absolutely lame, nonsensical excuse from what you just heard. How did that even happen? I don't know. Now, this is going to come up again and again. You're going to see in future episodes where this whole background checks thing comes up. But now, it's clear. Now we can see from the archives exactly how she was able to get all of those crooks and criminals in her administration. And that's not a false allegation, okay? That's no false allegation. That's fact. We already have the chief henchman who is up on a federal indictment. It's well known what their criminal records are. And now we see how they were able to slip them into the system. So that's all we have on this episode. On the next one, you're not gonna want to miss it. Oh, it's just amazing. We're going to get into hotel expenses and yet another absolutely hypocritical move that the mayor makes where she's blasting the trustees about expenses. You are not going to want to miss this. Special shout out to Mara Gabriella for all of the help that she has given me in digging up through these archives. It's a lot of work, a lot of note taking, a lot of notations to put this stuff together, but I wanted to give her credit for helping me organize all of this for you. And I'm gonna tell you what, folks, you don't want to miss the next one, and the next one, and the next one, because they only gonna get better. So stay tuned, and I'll see y'all all on the next episode of the Dolton Chronicles.